Use this desktop gummy machine for the first time. So first, after you getting the machine, you need to connect the cable for the controller. The cable is labeled clearly using A to A, B to B, C to C. So we all label them. So just connect your controller to your machine. After controlling, connect power and turn on the power by switching the switch over here. Turn on the power. After turning on the power, you will see a language selection. Press F1 for Chinese, press F3 for English. Then we will demonstrate it using English. So now we are on the main screen, what we call operation screen. So on the upper right hand corner, it indicates the current mode that we are in. Right now we are in the manual mode. Manual mode means that we just pressing this forward, reverse, deposit or suck to just manually control the machine. So let's right now stay in the manual mode to show you what is each individual mean. So let's press F1. F1 means that for this gummy machine, this conveyor belt will travel forward. Let's see. Okay. F2 means backward or reverse. Then F3 meaning that is called DEP, mean deposition, meaning that the nozzle will deposit some gummy solution in the hopper into our gummy mold. Right now there's nothing in the hopper, but still we could just press F3. We'll heard that it was squeezing the nozzle, and F4 meaning backing up. So let's change the angle to see a better look. Now we are on the back of the machine, so let's try the F3 and F4 one more time. So see, after pressing F3, it means depositing. The piston going inside that squeezing your gummy solution down to the mold. Now I pressing F4 means sucking. So the piston moving back to allow the material in the hopper drop down to the piston. Now let's back to the main screen. Right now, one more set of button I would like to talk about is the on and off button. The on and off button is controlling the temperature of the hopper. So on mean turning on the heating elements over there. You see the red line over there? There is a heating element inside of this jacket hopper. So by pressing the on button, so let me show you. Pressing on, you will see a water flowing sound. That's right now in the background. It means that the water, there's a circulator pump and a heating element inside of this hopper. It will heat the water and circulating, make sure the temperature in this hopper is even. Now, since we're not doing a production, we just turn off this heating. So right now I see on, heating. Okay, let's press off. The sound will go away and the heating will be stopped. On the left hand side of the screen, we will see 3 rows. The first row is recipe, second row is deposit time, third row is the reverse timer. So for the first row, this machine can store up to, I think, up to 10 recipe, different type of recipe, because different mold require different recipe because the mold size are quite different. For example, this one is a 1.6 milliliter mold. So in this recipe, and we're going to program this recipe number 2 to fit this mold. For example, you have another type of mold that is much bigger in size, then we can program recipe number 3 into a different size mold. How to change the recipe is easy. So press the set. So now it's going to change the reverse time. So press set again. We'll go to the recipe. It was lighting up, and then we change it to recipe number 1 or 2 or 3 by just this. Okay, after you like the recipe number 2, press enter. Now recipe number 2 is selected. The second row says deposit times. It means that this recipe number 2, it will deposit 25 times because this gummy mold, it has 25 rows in total. For example, if we have a smaller row, we only have 10 rows, then we only need 10 times. This can be programmed later on. The third one is reverse timer. So this is a higher feature that we do not need at this time. I'm going to talk about it later. After selecting the recipe that you like, just hit the start button and this gummy machine will do its jobs. So I just hit the start and then it will just program it. I just put some cleaning water in it to demonstrate a little bit. See, it will be traveling for a certain distance and stop and make a deposit. And this nozzle can be moved left or right depending on your mode spacing and sizes. And this number is counting, so it means that we already done 22, 23, 24, 25. Now 25 is finished. It just stopped right there for the last mode. Okay. Now let's talk about how to set up the perfect recipe for your mode. You see on the lower right corner we have a number 9 and set. It reminds us by pressing number 9 we're going to be able to change some setting. On this screen, the DEP means deposit. So it's all being shortened for DEP, the deposit. So deposit amount and deposit time. So for this first one, because we're using a gummy mode, it's about 1.6 milliliter. So we are using 1.5. If you are going a bigger mode, for example, if you are having a 4 milliliters mode or 4 cc mode, then you're going to get a number close to 40. Just I would say 38. There will be some differences. It's going to be a try and error. So set a number that close to your cc number and then increase it or decrease it based on the observations. And also the second row means 0 because this machine are capable of a larger mode. For example, there's a mode that are, I would say, about a 20 milliliter big. It's like a big chocolate mode. And this machine cannot deposit 20 milliliters for one squeeze. So you would just program it into, for example, you're going to program it 10 milliliters pre-runs, but you're going to run it 2 times. So this machine will stop on the 1 position and squeeze 2 times if you're putting 1 over here. So 0 means it's not gonna repeat itself. 1 means it's gonna repeat itself 1 time. Okay, after that is DEP deposit speed. Our factory recommend using 60% deposit speed. If you could go faster if you want a faster production rate, but 60% is something that factory agree that this would be perfect for normal use. And for the deposit frequency, it means that how many seconds this conveyor belt travel before it stops. What that means is if we increase this time to, for example, if we increase this time to 1 second, it means that this conveyor belt will travel 1 second before it stops for another run. Right now we are setting at 0.56, so that if this spacing is bigger than the current mode, then we are going to increase this number. So if the spacing between the gummy mode are smaller, then we are going to decrease the times. The last row is deposit times. It means that this program, it will deposit 25 row of slots. For example, if you're using 10 slots gummy mode, then you are going to enter number 10 over here. So how to change it is I'm going to show you here. Just press the step button. So right now we are selecting recipe number 3. We could just change this number to enter into a new recipe and press the set again. It's going to be the speed. Press that again, frequency. Press that again, go to the amount. Press that again, it will be the time. So we will just change it to, I would say 20 times. So it will be running short for 5, okay? Just after you satisfy with this number, press enter then you're good. There are also advanced setting as well. So go to this page. You see there's an arrow down. Just press this button to get an advanced setting. For the advanced setting, that we have two settings. There's a setback amount and setback speed. So this gummy machine, in order to have a nice and crispy deposit, that this machine are programmed to set back amount of the material after depositing. So it will prevent dripping. So factory recommend the setting is 5 for setback amount and 50 for setback speed. I'm going to use this needle to represent the gummy machine to explain better about the setback amount, okay? So after this gummy bear machine, they are going to deposit a certain amount like this. If we do not have setback, we might have small amount of gummy solution hanging on the tip of this over there, which might drip down in the middle of this mold, which we do not want. So right after each deposit, this machine will set back tiny bit to make sure that there's no overflow from the nozzle, okay? So 5 and 50 are recommended by factory. So this is usually generally good enough for most application. We also have a final page of setting. Let's go down. We will see this is the suck speed. We will set at 50%. Hopper temperature is set at 70 degrees Celsius. Remember, this is Celsius. So 100 degrees Celsius mean boil, 0 degrees Celsius mean freeze. So 70 is around 160, 170 Fahrenheit, I think. So this is pretty hot. And do not run this one over 100 because you are using water as a heating element around the heating element. So if you're going above 100 degrees Celsius, then the water will be boiling and it's not good for the system. So remember to set it down. I usually set it between 50 to 70, depending on the recipe. Sometimes you're doing chocolate, you want it to be hotter, you can go 70. Sometimes you're doing gummy, you want to be cooler, you can set it at 50, okay? So next option is called temperature offset. So this, what this really means is that this usually it should translate into temperature deviate allowances. So if we change it, if with this current setting 0 degree, it means that this machine will turn on the heating even though there's a 0.1 degree lower than 70, okay? So usually we set it to 2 degrees. So make sure that this machine are not turning on and off all the time, okay? So let's set it to 2 degrees. Set. Okay, so we can either use this numbering button or using this on and off. I mean this upper and lower bottom. Okay, we're going to set this temperature offsets to 2 degrees Celsius. Okay. The last setting is called delay conveyor. So right now it's at 0.00, so it means no delay. So usually this is what we recommended, but you can change it to 1 second if you want. So what it means is that this conveyor belt will be delayed 1 second after the depositing is done for one row. For example, it's done over here, and then it will delay 1 second after it start moving. And another deposit, and then delay 1 second before moving. Okay, so this is a function that might be useful for some large mold, but it's not useful for our current applications. So the final locking setting right here, it says admin. Okay, so this one is allow you to set up a passcode for turning on and turning using the machine. So this is absolutely not necessary. So, and this page is not translate to English as well. So you do not need to program any unlock or passcode for this machine. Just hit exit and ask it. Okay, right now we're back to the usual model. Now let me demonstrate from start to end by programming this machine to run with a completely new mode right here. So I'm going to just throw a mode here and let's program it. So I know this mode, the volume of this mode is about 3.4 milliliter. So let's go over here and show you how to do it. So just press the number 9, go to the setting. And right now we are going to, let's set this purple mode into our recipe number 3, okay? Just press the set button. Right now, this number 1 is light up. Go to recipe number 3, press enter. Right now, we're programming number 3 for the completely new recipe, okay? And let's first change the deposit speed. So as we talk about, we prefer 60% as a factory recommended. Just press 600, press enter. And then the deposit frequency. So because we noticed that the spacing over here might be slightly bigger than the gummy mode. So we are going to increase this one to about I would say 0.8 seconds. Okay, so we could always come back and change this setting as well. So just press 80. So right now it's at 0.8 second. Okay, good. Enter. And the deposit amount, as I said, is about 3.6 milliliters. So I'm going to enter some number that's close to 36. Okay, just press 6. I would say 350. Okay, enter. Good. And the deposit time, so how many times we want this one to deposit. So we can count how many rows there is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this gummy mode have 12 for each mode, having 12 rows for each mode. So we are going to enter 1, 2, enter. And right now it's going to highlight this 0. So how many times do we want this how many additional time do we want the injector to inject into this mode? So clearly this mode is small enough. Just 35 is good enough for this size. Okay, just 0 is good enough. Okay, just enter. Okay, and right now it's all set. Let's go to the next page to see if there's any setting that we need to change. Okay, this is set to factory, nothing to worry about. Set to factory, something good. Okay, let's go back to the operation menu. Okay, now let's change. Right now we are still at the recipe number 2. We're going to go to recipe number 3. Just set button. Okay, go to number 3. This way. Okay, hit enter. See, this number will change to 12. Okay, let me change this mode and let's start it. Okay, make sure each nozzle are facing right above the mold. Okay, and we are not using this 2 modes, so we are going to demonstrate how to disable this nozzle. So even though this machine has 10 nozzle, we could still just use a nozzle at a time. Okay, I'm going to show you later, but let's demonstrate the running. Okay, after we set up the mode, we're going to just press the start button. Okay, let's see if the spacing is good enough. Okay. Okay, as I noticed that the 0.8 is a little bit short. It's not. Okay, so it's fully run the 12, okay? But I noticed that when running, it's 0.8 setting, 0.8 seconds for each spacing is a little bit short. So it's not completely travel through the whole mode yet. So it means that we are going to increase the timing, okay? So we go back here, go press 9, and let's set this 0.8 to a higher number. Okay, let's try 0.9 then. Just press 9, 0, press enter. Everything else, it should be stay the same, okay? Let's try it again. Align the mode at the beginning and press start button. Okay, I noticed that they are just tiny bit short, okay? Right now, we just go back to the setting and change one more time to perfect, okay? Let's go to number 9 and set this 090 to, I would say, 93. Let's try that. Actually, 9 fine. That might be too big. This is clear. That's 93. Okay. Okay. This looks pretty nice. The setting looks correct and right on. So every time it goes right above the center of the mode, which is full. Perfect. So this setting is perfect for this mode, okay? So the final thing is, let's talk about how to disable 2 piston if you are running only using 8 piston instead of using the full 10 piston, okay? The thing is very easy. So just remove this nozzle, actually remove this knob. So unscrew it right here, see the knobs? Just unscrew the nozzle that you do not want to use. And that's how simple it is. So once they are removed, push it forward, or maybe using a small tool over here. So push it forward. Make sure they're pushed all the way forward. And then it means that this 2 nozzle will not come out when we are doing the deposit with other nozzle. Let me show you what it means, okay? So let's do another round using the same mode. See, these 2 nozzle will always stay on the off position while all other 8 are working together. So this is how we disable the last 2 nozzle.
If you haven't heard by now, Global Widget's Year of More is in full swing. For more CBD in our products, such as our popular line of oils and pain-frees, and more delicious flavors. But we're not stopping there. Now we are giving you more gummies as we revamp our customer favorite CBD gummies with more CBD and more value. We're not raising the prices. Just how did we do it? Let's take a behind-the-scenes look with our Chief Compliance Officer, Margaret Richardson, and show you exactly how we are changing the industry and our CBD gummies. So Margaret, thanks for taking us on this tour of this machine that is Global Widget. As you can see behind us, our gummy machine and the investment in technology and processes allows us to vertically integrate. So when we talk about vertical integration, what exactly does that mean?
Well, for Global Widget, it really means 2 things. One, being able to produce at scale. So just looking at the kettle and the machine itself, you're talking about 500,000 gummies a day. And then with a commercial dehydration chamber, we can be assured that we can run 24/7. So our distributors never have to be out of product. The second thing it means is that we are actually making and cooking candy. So these gummies are made here, infused with CBD, So we have excellent control and quality as it relates to the potency and also the quality of the taste as it comes out.
So Margaret, we've heard a lot about vertical integration. How does it benefit our customers along with our retail and wholesale partners?
Right, so there are really three key components if you're the wholesale retailer or also the end user. First is going to be controlling cost. When you're manufacturing at the scale with vertical integration, it means that your cost per gummy is much lower and we can pass that off to our customers. Secondly, commercial scale equipment means that we are making product that's large and very stable, and you always have redundancy. So you as a wholesaler are not going to have an interruption in your supply. And finally, consistent product. Again, when you're making commercial scale amounts of product, that means that every gummy is consistent, whether it's potency, flavor, or quality. So you're guaranteed to have the same gummy every time.
So what's the secret behind carrying out all these stages of production under just one roof?
Well, good news is we have 100,000 square feet. So that gives us a lot of flexibility. Right here you see one gummy line. We're actually bringing in a second. So we'll have backup. In addition, we have a dehydration chamber we'll be adding, and that really gives us the ability to scale up as our product and demand increases. So if you're a distributor and you're concerned about, am I going to have product interruption, you can be assured that we have the scale to grow with you. And as the products grow, we can support your growth. The other really important thing is compliance and quality. As we know, CBD is a somewhat unregulated environment. So making sure that the product that you have on your counter is high quality is our #1 concern.
So how does vertical integration help Global Widgets stand out in the CBD universe, and how are we able to give more CBD at the same price?
Sure. So for us, having this kind of capacity and commercial equipment allows us to obviously make at scale. In addition, we can make changes quickly as the market changes, whether it's change of flavor, increased potency. We have that capability with our in-house formulators. And then, of course, our ability to work with white label or contract packaging groups. So we really offer that suite, which allows us to be flexible. As we know, the cost of hemp has come down, but the cost of manufacturing has increased, partly because of the compliance. So having someone that has scale will help long term, because you're going to need to keep your cost of goods low, and that's what we bring to the table. Being able to manufacture at a reasonable price so that we can offer to the consumer and distributor a high quality product at a good selling price for your end consumer.
So it certainly sounds like vertical integration has helped Global Widget tremendously with this MORE initiative. But as I understand it, the new gummies are completely different. Why is that?
Well, we really started from scratch. So we formulated our own flavors. So you have brand new flavors that are available. In addition, we actually infuse the CBD. So we are cooking the gummies here and then extruding them on our new gummy line. So they're completely different than any of the other products on the market. It really allows us, again, to control potency. We can create new flavors, and we can adapt to the market as necessary.
And that's a complete result because of our brand new gummy
That's
machine.
right. Exactly. So it's we're excited to have it. Again, I think people will enjoy the outcome in terms of flavor and the fact that we can change flavors up, maybe seasonally. So there's a lot of options that we have because we're actually manufacturing, cooking, creating the gummies here every day.
So Margaret, thanks again for the great tour and all the information regarding our new gummy machine. So why did Global Widget decide to make this upgrade to an already best-selling product, and what does it mean for our customers and retail partners?
Sure. Well, we definitely wanted to offer to the consumer a better product. And this really is a better product. We're talking about a fully infused gummy with handcrafted formulas and flavors that are much better than is available on the conventional marketplace. So it's better for everyone. In addition, the quality is much better. You're talking about a commercial machine that allows us to control everything about that individual gummy. So you as a consumer or retailer can be assured that every single gummy is identical and that every bag that you sell has that quality and compliance that's so necessary right now for the CBD industry.
Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Chad Rischel, and I'm a senior scientist with Cargill's North America Food Applications team. I have been asked to talk about how we are continuing to support our customers with R&D from our home workspaces. Before we were asked to transition to home work, I had a few projects with sugar reduction that came up. They range from cereal coatings to cereal puffs to frosting and to gummies. So we had to decide. Obviously for coating cereal I need a bigger piece of equipment, so that was out. But frosting and gummies, hey, I can do that at home. So before we were asked to work from home, we were able to grab a few items. I have a scale, an induction plate, a thermometer, a mixer, and the rest has been make it up as you go basically on some of these things. So that's been fun and interesting. So we're going to talk about some of the sugar reduction hurdles I've been able to look at while I've been at home, and we're going to focus on a pectin gummy today. So right away when I hear sugar reduction, the first thing is I always ask is, what am I comparing this to? Is this going to be a brand new product and you want to compare it to something on the market? Or is this an existing product and you need to match it in a gold standard way? And obviously if it's matching a gold standard, and even if it's a new product, we want to know about the flavor, the texture, and the appearance. And many times those will have definite set guardrails on there. And some of them might be, taste needs to be number one. We're flexible on texture and appearance. We're okay. I think we'll be able to fall into that window. So we always try and set a hierarchy that way. Another thing I always ask is, what is on your in and out ingredient list? What are you looking to do? Do you have something that specifically cannot be used, or is there something that you would really like to be used? And what are some of the goals of that sugar reduction? So then it would be the claims. Are we looking at a calorie reduction? Are we looking strictly at a sugar reduction? Do we want to add fiber to this product or other nutrient benefits? So that's where I kind of start there. And then the fourth thing is I like to always think about is processing. Corn syrup, or I should say syrup, is not syrup. I mean, and a powder is not necessarily a powder. So therefore, you have to kind of think about all those things, because it may look great on a formula or nutrition facts panel. It may look okay, you know, in the beginning and during the processing, but then also how does it look in the finish? So we have to take it all the way through. So we're going to quick jump in here right now. Today I'm actually going to be looking at